So what we need to do, we're going to turn on screen recorder. This is all in QuickTime. So I'm recording the audio using QuickTime Player, the old one, not the new one. You got to pay for the new one. Okay, let me move this thing out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to make a screen recording that just basically covers okay, you'll see. Okay, so I tell it to start, and then I gotta drag the area. So from upper corner there, okay, and then it'll go over here. We'll go, okay, there we go. So now I'm going to start recording, and it's always good to do some kind of synchronizing thing when there's two different files, one's audio and one's just video. Or, yes, that's the hardest. So unless, it shouldn't be all that hard, but the audio started before the video. So to make it line up, it's always good to have something that has sound and vision at the same time. So I just do this thing, 1, 2, 3, and then then I can line it up, because I see like in the audio waveform, there's like a spike when I do this, and then I can go through and have it broken down to just half-second thumbnails. That's, I don't know if you've done any, but when you do video editing with, say, iMovie, that's the only thing I know. But anyway, the idea is to see just when my hand goes together, and then there's a spike of sound. It should start no sooner than my hands coming together. Sometimes it's really hard to see, it's all blurry. But in any case, once I started doing that regularly, and then every once in a while I forget and go, why didn't I do it? It's like, it's so much easier. So anyway, we've got to, let's see. I've got to explain. Okay, this is the deal. I'm first going to explain the naming mistakes I made. I made 2. One, I'll start with my abandoning my convention, our conventions, the Paratopian conventions, or it's the God's 40. And I'm a little mixed up, and I could use a little bit of help on this stuff. Kind of making it, saying, okay, this is the story, everybody. Everybody want to know what the story is here. Everybody come around, and we're going to explain some things. And we're trying to be consistent, because we're making it up as we go along, so got to be careful. Of course, it's very helpful if what we're making up is a way to share with other people what's going on. That's what we're making up as we go along. And actually, a lot of what we do is capture what's really happening. So we're not making up anything in that case. But to make it entertaining, to fill in the gaps, to try to figure out how to deal with the parts that could be deadly boring if all we're doing is like just, have a camera all day long, like Andy Warhol sleeping all night long. Okay, how about giving me a synopsis, Anyway, he made a lot of money off of it, so I'm thinking about doing it. I like to sleep. Anyway, the 2 mistakes. First, I let go of my convention. And actually, to be honest with you, I'm talking to you, of all people. You're kind of a distracting type of person. You are! With those eyes and yours, the smiley face and your... No, I'm kidding. Well, no, there's something that's very engaging. Not only that, you're very quick-witted, which I find very refreshing, because a lot of people of both sexes, but since it's women that I'm more interested in spending time with, I just want to spend more time with. I like women. I've always worked with women. I've been in professions where women are the majority. I always liked working with women. And I liked hanging out with women. So anyway, at the moment I don't really want to hang out all that much in general. I have more specific ideas about it. Well, I want to hang out and do things that we both want to do, whatever that is. I found your particular choice of male verb names to be interesting, and yeah, we could consider something like that. But actually, okay, so anyway, let's get the name right, because I gave you the wrong name. Your name is not Winneb. What an idiot I am. No, your name can be one of two things. It's either Pab. Wait. Or Nab. That's right. Wait. No, it's Cab, C-K-A-B, or Nab, N-A-B. It isn't what Winneb, because, okay, why and? What's that and doing in there? Well, it's kind of standard laziness to, in texting, N for and. I used to use it, and then I said, we have conventions for a reason. It's purely arbitrary. We've decided we're going to do this rather than that, and we're being consistent, not to be foolish, not to engage the hobgoblins of our little minds, but rather because having some, it makes it more fun. It's like the rules of a game. So we say, let's be consistent. And it makes it easier, because people go, oh, I know why there is an A. I mean, what's an N doing? I thought each part of an acronym, each letter is the first letter of the word. So why are we doing N for and? Why are we doing the letter U for Y-O-U? So I used to do that too. In fact, one of my favorite acro epithets, fooey-ukatage. It's basically fuck you if you can't take a joke. But we've had to change it. It's a little harder now. It's fooey-ukatage. With Y's. It can't be used. What are they thinking? Actually, we can let go of it. We could say there are some legacy acro epithets and other acro words, but any ones that I'm making up now, because this can really form the basis of a new add-in to our language, or a plug-in to, use modern terminology, but there's no reason why we can't build on the platform of our language, the English language, although if people doing the same thing in their other languages, it can be done in other languages too. I do it in English, but that's the platform, English. And then on top of English, we can take, through this whole acronymizing process, we can have phrases that have meaning. And just as a word can have a bunch of meanings, or you really need to almost tell a whole story for one of the meanings. Yiddish is a language where lots and lots of the words, I think that's how it was. Well, there's that whole tradition in which people will use these kind of interesting words. I think it's a very living language, because it's kind of like people's way of talking. The language is flexible enough to allow the new trends to come into the language. And of course, actually, English that's been one of its advantages, partly because it's made up of two different language groups, the whole Germanic, whatever, Indo-Germanic or whatever, Aryan, versus the Romance languages. So we have almost two full languages, and it was used for hierarchical purposes. When the Normans invaded England, they became the kings, and they spoke their French, which turned into an English, which was different from the the French, the Angles and the Saxons were earlier. And they have much more direct words, like a word you use all the time, like I want to fuck you. I mean, fuck is a lot easier than I want to have sexual intercourse with you, you see? And that's the fundamental difference between the Angles and the Saxons, who, had warfare that was, barbaric at the very nicest, It's like, people from that were happy to not be. I'm proud to not be an Angle or a Saxon. I mean, or anybody for living in the Middle Ages. Like, what kind of world was that? Really? Ooh. I mean, people feel like, oh my gosh, we don't have enough. Gotta have more stuff, more stuff. I mean. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going off. So anyway, this is, now do you understand, and I'm interested in whether you think it's more appropriate for you to call yourself Cab or Nab. I like Nab sound, but Cab is a little bit, isn't it more accurate? I mean, isn't that what we're talking about here? I mean, you know, I mean, you know. I know you know. I know you know. And I'm not going to say another word, okay? I'm going to stop this. Oh, first I stop the audio. So let me do that first, and then I'll be blabbing on, and all of a sudden it'll be, stop, you know.